we are here for yet another interesting part of what we call, I call it medical computer. I call it medical computer. Today we are going to look at the word, actually a course unit called medical computer, and I rely more on computer. So for those of you who do foundation of nursing, and in that paper there is a part that is composed of computer. Even those who do medicine and surgery, somewhere have computer. Those who actually who do clinical medicine, somewhere you study what we call medical computer. So today we shall rely much on actually on a PDF I created myself, and actually it has been put to our groups. So as we continue, you can actually check for reference. This PDF was created by myself. Actually, it is going to help us through the discussion. So, what is a computer? A computer is actually an electronic device that actually allows input, processing, storing, and outputting of data. Or you can say a computer is an electronic device that actually helps to transform data into information. Yeah, those two definitions can work. If we can add all these definitions I put in the PDF, a computer is an electronic device that accepts input of data, process by help of programs, and output of information. Or still, you can say a computer is a programmable machine that actually receives input, stores and manipulates data, and provides output in as a whole. That is the definition of computer. So, let us look at why we study a computer. Actually, why do we study a computer? Why do we study a computer? First of all, the reason as to why we study a computer, first of all, is to acquire the computer skills that will help us in the day-to-day life. The other reason is to promote creativity. Yeah, to get jobs. Actually, to create awareness, or in the learners' development of different courses. Also to acquire skills of using IT, enhance productivity development. Actually, it also to empower a lecturer as a computer literate. So that is the reason as to why we study computer, but it is far different from another question that can be said. Another question can be said that give the users of computer in the following sectors. We shall see that question. But why do we study computer? Those are the answers. So, allow me look at the characteristics of computers. Characteristics of computers. So, with the characteristics of computers, first of all, we have what we call storage. With the storage, you must have seen that computers actually have a large storage capacity, which is actually very big, and it is found on the hard disk. Yeah, so if we continue and proceed, allow me also actually look at accuracy. Yeah, computers are accurate. No computer actually can give you wrong information unless you feed it with wrong information. So it works on a principle, GIGO, under accuracy. You garbage in, you garbage out. For example, if I can actually make simple calculus here, 2a plus 2a, we know that it is 4a. That is what a computer will give you, right? But when you say 2 plus a plus 2a, a computer will not give you 4a, because you said 2 plus a. Instead, it will actually just put a bracket here and it gives you the same thing. So it works on the principle that you garbage in, you garbage out. So if I proceed to other characteristics of computer, computers actually has speed as a characteristics. With the speed, it means that in every second, computers can actually read millions of instructions. Are you together? So another characteristic is that computers are automatic. They are automatic. I'll just give it instructions, it will do the rest. For example, if a simple calculus I have shown here, it will just give an answer straight away. actually, people should actually invite your friends, share this discussion with others, even with the secondary students. This is helpful because it is more or less the same computer. When we talk of communication, another characteristic is what? Communication. Computers have ability to communicate. This is by help of internet. Yeah. We also have another characteristic of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence. Now, with artificial intelligence, you must appreciate that computers actually understand using artificial knowledge. Are we together? So, they can be programmed to actually assume human capacities. With this, we mean corrections. You can actually call it word spell checking, which would have been by you, but a computer can do it once it is programmed. Another characteristic is what we call versatility. Versatility. So, with versatility, a computer can actually perform many tasks without getting tired. Yeah, it can perform many different tasks at the same time here with versatility. Versatility, it can perform many tasks without getting actually here there is a difference between versatile and diligence. So these two things actually confuse people. So with diligent, it can perform many tasks without getting tired. With versatile, it can perform many tasks at the same time. Are you together? Those are some of the characteristics of computers. I talked about storage, accuracy, speed, being automatic, communication, artificial intelligence, diligence, and versatility. Those are some of the characteristics of computers. And allow me actually proceed, and I look at some of the terms we commonly use in a medical computer. Terms we commonly use in a medical computer. With this, you must appreciate that there are a lot of terms we have in computer, but we usually look at a few that are very, very common. We have what we call data. Data. And data are raw facts of an event. Raw facts of an event. We have information. We have information. Information is processed. Data. Information is data. So, we also have another term here. We have what we call data entry. Data entry. Data entry. This refers to feeding of data into a computer. Feeding of data into a computer. We have another term. We have binary. It deals that a computer actually works a language called binary language. So the language is called a binary system. So binary, this is a computer language. We have a byte. We have a byte. And you must know that a byte actually represents a character in a computer. And with a byte, we have also we shall see somewhere. We shall see calculation of different bits. How do you have different characters in a computer? So you realize that 1 byte is always equal to 80 bits. That's to come with time. So those are some of the terminologies we have, and I shall look at the rest with time. That has just been an eye opener. So now with computer, you must actually know and appreciate that computer is very important in the basic day-to-day life. You must also remember that these days we are adopting to the new normal. We are adopting to the new normal, and the new normal, that is what we have use of e-learning, like Zoom, like learning on Facebook. So usually guys tend to actually make a lot of money from this business of actually online lessons. Yeah, with time we shall be there. I know. So when you look at another unit in computer, we shall go through this actually notes until we can. The other unit is what we call evolution of computers, but this one was actually scrapped out of the syllabus, so it's no longer asked. But I can go through it a bit just to open your eyes. Excuse me. When you overtalk, the throat usually tends to dry. So, and these days that we are in creates a lot of food. But inshallah, we shall overcome. So, evolution of computers, you start pushing evolution of computers refers to the historical developments from ancient life to life. Actually, those developments that happened between ancient to now. So, we shall take examples of computers that were used like abacus, which was actually introduced by a guy called Abacus in the 3000 BC, before Christ. We have the diagram produced by John Napier. We have the Jacquard weaving room machine. We have the slide. We also have this Charles Babbage analytical engine. Yeah, there are very many computers there that were used. I'll not go deep. I'll just mention a little. Just actually stretch much on what is actually asked. Probably allow me look at what we call generations. This is also no longer asked, but just I'm trying to give a small clue. With the generations, the different steps through which technology takes place up to date. So we had the first generation that actually ranged from 1946 to 1958. That is where people actually used they used to use vacuum tubes in the programming. We also had the second generation, that's from 1958 to the 1964. That's where we use the transistors. The third generation, that is actually we use integrated circuits. Now we had started upgrading integrated circuits. Later we came to the fourth generation, and some of you in the fourth generation were around. That is the 1980s. People were around. That is where we started using microprocessors. Now, lately, we are in fifth generation. That is the today's future, right now. Where we use actually artificial intelligence and robots. We know that in the medical world, we now even have robots that actually administer drugs. Together, they administer drugs. We know that. So, and you must appreciate that computers, that is how they were evolved up to date. So, I'll not dwell much on that. Allow me look at the uses of computers and the different sectors. For example, a sector like education, the education sector. The education, how are computers important? Research, for research. Security, health, in the actually in the at home, and many other sectors. So these uses are actually looked at, and you must be very keen with this number. Not the same as someone asks you, why do we study? Why do we study a computer? You always start with that opening word 2. Why? It's an objective question 2. Yeah, so with this you can use it and whatsoever. So in the schools, we know that in education it keeps storage of information of student database about fees and whatever. It is used to create exams. It is for research. Now in research, it is also used in actually quickening work. Yeah, because actually a person just takes a picture and sends here. So in security, the CCTV cameras is also responsible in keeping information about crimes. And in the health, it is used in the X-rays, we know, keeping patients' information. Home, for entertainment, playing music, watching movies, and whatsoever. So those are some of the things that actually the importance of computers. With here, I don't drill much, because these are actually simple concepts. Just I wanted to go through. Actually, I would have actually just given a PDF and we proceeded. But it is better we also go through. So, now, having seen that, allow me actually proceed to what we call computer categories. Yeah, computer categories. We have three categories. We have in computers. So what we call computer categories are computer categories. With the computer categories, this is the question. We shall see computers are categorized in what we call analog, digital, what we call the high read. So with these three categories of computers, you must appreciate that the analog is where we have those computers that used to use calibrations, like the voltimeters, the thermometers. These are the analog methods. Now with the digital, we shall see values, numerical concepts here being written, like a calculator writes values in numerals, a phone gives values in numerals. Yeah, numerical concept. Now the hybrid does both. So I believe, right, you have been seeing some watches that have got this analog style, and also down it has the digital style. Those are the three categories of computers. I must say that analog computers are computers in which numerical data are actually represented by calibrations, yeah, or physical variables. That is the voltimeters, thermometers, ammeters, speedometers, and so whatsoever, barometers, and so many others. With the digital, we shall see that computers data is in discrete values of zeros and ones. That is in the binary system. That is where we shall see personal computers, laptops, and digital watches. So with the hybrid, we shall see the hybrid having both the calibrations and as I explained earlier. So examples of hybrid have what called the digital petrol amps. Yeah, I believe we all know that. So having seen that, allow me proceed to another part. That is what we call. This is what we call what we call classification. Classification of computers. The classification of computers, you must appreciate that computers are classified according, first of all, by purpose. By the purpose they do. So someone said, explain how computers are classified. You say by purpose, by size, by shape. By shape. Those are the three classifications of computers. And you must also appreciate that actually, if you look at the by size, if we go and look at by size, we shall see what we call the supercomputers. The supercomputers. Do you have people online there? The supercomputers, the mainframe computers, the mainframe computers, the miniframe. We are looking at, remember, we are looking at what we call medical computer, the miniframe, the micro computers. So, with this concept, you must appreciate that we are now looking at the classifications. Now we study by size. So by size, we have the super, main, and micro. What are these? The supercomputers are actually extremely large computers that actually process complicated statistics using a number of instructions per second. What are some of the characteristics of these supercomputers? They process billions of instructions per minute. They have a higher storage capacity. They are too expensive. They actually generate large amount of heat. Yeah, those are the supercomputers. About the mainframe, these are computers that actually are used mainly by large organizations for bulky data processing, such as sensors. The mainframe. What are their characteristics here? We see that they store a lot of data. they support a wide range of peripheral devices. Peripheral devices are those devices that are connected to the system externally. I believe you know that. Let us look at the mini frame. With the mini frame computer is a computer of multi-users. A computer of multi-users that actually lies between the main frame and the mini frame. And the micro, it lies between the main and the micro. So, what are some of the characteristics of the mini? Under the mini, you shall see that they support few number of users. We shall see they have less storage capacity. They are fairly expensive. So, we shall conclude, we are still on classification by size. We shall conclude with the micro, and the micro are the ones we are using lately. Very portable, those are the laptops, the desktops, the palm tops. They are very portable, they are very cheap, they consume less power. So that is what I can say about by size. So if I proceed and I look at classification of computers by purpose. So by purpose, that's where we look at the function it does. We have what we call the general purpose, and what we call the special purpose. So you must appreciate the general purpose. With the general purpose, that is where computers are designed to solve a wide range of problems. These are like the laptops, palm tops, and whatsoever. Now, actually, with the class, with the special purpose, with the special here to perform a wide range like laptops and whatsoever. Special, for example, the ATMs specifically they are for money. The what we call the gilibacos, actually those gilibacos are the ones machines for the fuel. Yeah, those are by special. Here, allow me proceed and I look at now by how computers classified by actually function. Yeah, by function. Actually, shape and size are the same way. You can actually work with them are the same. So by function. So now you must appreciate that computers are designed to solve a wide range of problems, and they are also able to act in a response to new programs created to meet different needs. Yeah, you must also appreciate now by function. This is the classification which computers are based on how they do it. So you realize that here we shall see we have by function we have what we call the networked computers. We have what we call the standalone computers, the integrated systems. So with the standalone computers, standalone are those ones there where we have actually a monitor, have common these days. Yeah, we have what we call the integrated systems. These actually, those are all other functions. I also have what we call the real-time systems. Those are all computers under functions. So that is what I can actually talk about the classification of computers. So allow me go deep and now look at another concept which is very easy, but most of you actually think that it is very hard, and those are what we call the computer systems. The computer systems. So with the computer systems, you must appreciate that actually with the computer systems we shall actually see a lot of different concepts. Anyway, if I pose a question to you guys, what is a system? What's a system? Here, a system is the collection of interrelated interacting components that work together to achieve a goal. A system of components. Yeah, for example, if I get a printer, a monitor, keyboard, and a mouse, that is a system. It has a function to do. What is actually a computer system? It's a collection of actually we are looking at now computer systems. So, what is a computer system? Having understood that a system is a collection of different components that work together to achieve a goal. What is a computer system? Now, a computer system is a collection of hardware, software, and humanware that are required to perform a specific task. It's a collection of hardware. Now we have got new terms. Hardware. Do you have online? People following? Yeah, no problem. We have what we call the hardware. We have the software. Now we are meeting new words. Then humanware. So a collection of these ones together. Software refers to a set of instructions that help the smooth running of hardware. Or software refers to the actually they can be sets of programs that help the smooth running of the hardware or a computer system. While the humanware is actually the user actually operates a computer system by the help of both software and hardware. So, if we go into details of actually computer hardware under computer systems, if we go into details under computer hardware, having understood that hardware are tangible parts of computer, yeah, hardware. If we go into it, we must appreciate that the types of the computer that is nice, but it is also divided into a lot of classes. All the input hardware. The input hardware. What we call the processing hardware. Things that can be processed but that can be felt or touched. We have what we call the storage hardware. Then what of the device what by slowly. So allow me to tell you that computer actually computer system has got an hardware. Those things you can touch on the system unit, the mouse, the printers, the projectors, actually we have the flashes, storage hardware. So we are all going to see categorize all that into this hardware system. And we see hardware at part of the computers again, and it's divided into input, processing, storage, and output hardware. So under input devices, these are devices that are used to feed data into a computer. They are used to feed data into a computer. So with this, I don't need to write a lot, just need to explain much. Under input hardware devices, we must also appreciate that they are also further divided into other classes. That this input, these devices that are used actually to feed data into a computer, are also further divided into what actually we call the text input, the one that enters text, the image, the one that enters image. We have the one that does audio, video. Those are all under input hardware. So under the text input devices, we have a keyboard, we have a voice recognizer, we have a barcode reader, we have the magnetic strips. So a keyboard, looking at the text input, I'll just look at it in particular. A keyboard is actually one of the equipment that is used to enter data. It has got different parts. You must say that a keyboard has also got different types. Some of the examples of keyboards have what we call the ABCDE keyboard. We have the keyboards, and the keys, keyboards. Those are all types of keyboards. So what are some of the advantages of keyboard that is very common with supply of computer? It comes with the computer, so it is very common. Keyboards are more reliable. They are very more reliable compared to any other method. Entering of data with the keyboard is easy. Those are some of the advantages. What are some of the disadvantages? That a keyboard easily become actually dusty. When they get dusty, so might cause diseases to you. Some keyboards are very hard to press. Yeah, and actually it takes a lot of time to practice in order to become. So you let us actually continue and look at what we call structure of a keyboard. With the structure of a keyboard, it requires you to go and actually Google that out and look at the keyboard. We are still looking at the text and input hardware, but under text input hardware. So you must appreciate and also accept that a keyboard has got different parts on it. That is the alphanumerical keys. This includes of letters, numbers, punctuation marks, and symbols. We also have what we call the numerical keypad. This consists of numbers and whatsoever. We have the navigation key, that was home, end, page up, page down, delete, insert. Those are some of the keys found in navigation. Even the function, those are the F keys, are also found on the keyboard. What are some of the uses of these buttons found on the keyboard? We know that a space bar creates space between characters. A backspace key actually moves the cursor or deletes. We have enter key, that takes you to a new line. We have a shift key. Actually, shift key creates uppercase or lowercase. Have tab key, moves the cursor. Yeah. We have what we call the escape key. This cancels the current program. We have very many keys on it. As you get time and actually look in the PDF, you'll actually find more. So, about the text input, I can leave it at that. We also have the speech input. Under speech input, have the microphones. Yeah, those ones I will not talk much about them. Still, yeah, under image input, under the image input, we have the barcode readers. Now, with the barcode readers, when you go to the supermarket, there is such one that is used to record the bars. That thing they put and record the bars on a fastening on a good. These questions, so that's the barcode reader. So, with imaging, we have the camera, all the camera, the video, still camera, audio, microphone. So, still, under that, we have what we call, under still input, we have what we call the pointing devices. Yeah, with the pointing, we shall see that we have the mouse. With the mouse, we have different types of mouse, which include the foot mouse, the joystick, the mechanical mouse, and so many other types of mouse. So, these things are actually very easy. So, I just want to, because that we need to get marks because this is 40% of paper 2. So, you need to go through it. You never know. Yeah. So, we're still on input. We talked about all these. Now, I believe we know. So, allow me look at the processing hardware. We have what we call the CPU under processing hardware. Yeah, the processing hardware, we have the CPU, which is the central processing unit. It does that. Under the storage hardware, we have very many storage hardwares. We have those ones that are permanent, and actually those ones that are temporal. We have the disks, the flash disks. We have the hard disks, the floppy disks, the diskettes, and we have so many other things. Let us look at the output. Output devices. With the output devices, you must have that we have. That is where we shall see the monitor. And the touch screens and so many other output devices. And with this output device, we shall see that we shall see that the monitor is divided into two types. We have what we call the flat, what we call the liquid crystal display. Actually, liquid crystal cathode ray display. Also have just to rectify about the types of actual output devices. We have the monitors. Which monitors actually are divided into two. They are what we call the flat screens. The flat screens. They have got another type they fall in. We have the other types of televisions that have the stomach. Actually, those ones fall under the cathode ray tubes. So, I would like to actually explain something here about the output devices. Now, with the output device, you must always appreciate that here we are. We have the display devices, and these output they give us actual information out, either in soft or hard copy. When you say soft or hard, soft is that data that can be typed, while hard is that data on paper. So, as I told you, we have different types of displays. Have the CRT. The CRT. We have also what we call the LCD. This is the display. So these are the flat. These are the flat TVs. These are the ones with the big back behind them. Yeah, those are the display. So for reference about all that, you can go and check in the book. And some of the advantages of using these ones, these ones actually have a wide viewing angle compared to these. And these ones actually, the disadvantage is that these ones now the disadvantage is these ones actually consume a lot of data compared to these ones. Are you together? These ones are actually easy to repair. These ones are hard to repair. Yeah, you can go and look at that. So that is about the hardware. With the hardware, we have also the processing hardware, as I talked of, the CPU, the motherboard, the control unit, where we know that the control unit is a processor that directs and also coordinates the most of the operations in a computer. So, what are some of the operations done by a computer? Have fetching, have decoding, and where we get instructions to bring it to use. Yeah. With the CPU, we shall realize that we have also different types of CPUs, and they depend on the storage capacity of a computer. CPU can be actually used in conjunction with what we call the arithmetic logic unit, or what we call the resistors. Excuse me. So yeah. Now all that has been hardware. With hardware, I've not actually gone deep into it because actually, as long as that hardware is divided into input, output, storage, processing, and output hardware. So that is it. So with the input, we have seen that it's divided into text, pointing, image, video, audio, and given examples. With the storage hardware, we have also given actually some examples. With the processing, you have the control unit, CPR, actually the CPU, the arithmetic logic unit, and so many other things. Then with the storage, we have also seen that it is divided into two, that is the temporary and the permanent storage. So, and under storage, still just to bring in a little about storage, you'll appreciate that storage can either be done on a RAM or ROM. RAM is random access memory and ROM is read-only memory. Those things I'm actually giving you their full forms because they usually ask such. You must appreciate that actually ROM actually comes, those are the sets of instructions the manufacturer puts in a computer. Yeah, and they are permanent, they cannot be changed. While RAM, it can be changed. So, having looked at that, allow me now to look at software in details. Software in details. So, as I told you, software are sets of instructions. Software are sets of instructions that help the smooth running of a computer system. So, with the software, this is what you must appreciate and be happy too, that software is actually divided in majorly two types. That is what we call the system software and the application software. The system software is a set of a little bit. I said it is very system. What we call application. So we are here. We shall start with the system software. And the system software here is a set of programs that actually control or maintain all operations of a computer and its devices. And together, it actually controls all operations of a computer system. The whole function in the computer is controlled by the system software. While with application software, you will realize that this one performs the specific tasks. Specific task. This is all operation, all the operations of a computer. So you must appreciate that a computer must have system software in order to perform normally. So types of system software include, we have what we call operating software, operating system software. We have what we call the utility programs. We also have what we call the programming language. Yeah. So with the operating system software, that is it's called the OS. OS. When you find OS in full is operating systems, is actually generalized program that actually manages or controls all activities taking place in the computer systems. It is this system, actual operating system software, controlling all the activities you do on a computer. So allow me to talk about the functions it does. It controls the hardware resources. It actually calls in memory for programs. Actually provides correcting routine, manages files and different folders. Also provides establishment of internet connection and so many other. Everything done by a computer is by the operating system software. So that is what I can say about that. And you must appreciate that operating system software must always be put on a computer for efficient functioning. Yeah. So still under this operating system software, it usually creates what we call a user interface. This one creates an interface between a person. So when I talk of a user interface, what do we mean? A user interface is that part of software with which the user interacts with the computer. So actually mainly two types of interfaces which are majorly talked about. That is the command line interface and what we call the graphical user interface. And with time, you can also find another one called the menu-driven interface, which is little is known about it. So with the command line interface, this is an interface which actually allows the user to type any document. Yeah, that's the command line. Copy or anything. What are some of the advantages of the command line? It takes little time. Disadvantage, it is not user friendly. So examples of a command line, we have copying. If you copy and paste, that is an example of a command line. We have what we call the graphical user interface. This is for images, excuse me, and videos. Are we together? So with the menu-driven, that one is actually containing of both the command line and the graphical user interface. Allow me to continue and I look at the types of operating software. Yeah, operating software, having known that it controls the overall operation of the computer. We have what we call the categories. Have what we call the standalone operating software. Standalone. Here, have what we call the standalone. Standalone under operating software. We have what we call the network. We also have what we call the enhanced. So those are some of the examples of the operating software. Yeah. So if I proceed and look at, those are some of the types of examples of actually categories of operating software. So they have got other. So under standalone, you will appreciate that we have what we call the Linux, the MS-DOS. Under the MS-DOS, that's where I have the Windows 7 and 8 and whatsoever. So under the networked, that is where I have the Windows Server 2003 and 2008, and some other Linux servers. So under enhanced, this is where you have the Apple ISO, the Google's Android. So right now, the operating system we have on the phone, we use it is under enhanced, because this is where you have the Google Android. What are some of the factors considered when choosing operating system? The type of computer in terms of size, yeah? The hardware configuration of a computer, such as the memory capacity. We also look at the cost of operating system, the number of users it can support. Those are some of the factors you consider when actually putting operating software on a computer. So allow me actually continue to another type of system software, which is the utility, with the utility programs. And with the utility programs, I don't need actually to speak much. This is actually designed to analyze, optimize, and maintain the good working condition of a computer. So functions of utility programs, they help in actually scanning, backing up. Actually, mainly utility programs are made for security. That is what I can actually summarize down. What are some of the utility programs we have? We have what we call the disk fragmenter, have what we call the file compressor. File compresses the files together. We have what we call the image viewer, the search utility, the antiviruses, the network utility, the system monitor, and so many other things. So I've talked about antiviruses under utility. So antiviruses prevent the computer from getting computer viruses. What is a computer virus? It's a program that duplicates or copies itself into other programs and spreads through a number of actually spreads through a number of different computers. So it is that causes of information. So why do people create computer viruses? First of all, to attack products of specific companies, for e-commerce, such towards today, people create viruses for vandalism. Yeah. So that's of the types of computer viruses we have. We have what we call the macro viruses, the file effectors. We have the Trojan horses, the worms, and the droppers. So many other types of viruses are actually looked at. So allow me, actually having looked at that, and I end with we are finishing the system software with looking at the programming language. And the programming language is a set of words or codes used to create a program. This one, we consider have two types of languages. That is the high level language and the low level language. So what are those? High level and low level language. You must appreciate that the low level language is actually that language where a computer can easily understand. So with the low level, it is understood by a computer. High level, it is understood by humans. That is what I can say. What are some of the examples of the low level? We have what we call the machine code language. We have what we call the assembled language. We have what we call the language actually processors. Yeah, we have the COBOL. Now, let us look at some of the examples of the high level languages that are understood by man. We have COBOL, which is a commonly business-oriented language. You get commonly business-oriented language. So we also have what we call the Fortran, the formula translators. I want you to go and look at those advantages and disadvantages of all those languages. Yeah. So with that, I think I've looked at the first part of software. So that is in brief. So let us also look at what we call the application software. Remember, application software is designed to perform specific tasks. They're like the off-shelf software, the freeware, the shareware, the copyrighted software. Yeah, and off-shelf software and application software is that one that is actually done for commercial purposes. Yeah, stand for commercial purposes. There are very many types of examples of actually what is application software. Yeah, people calling, you should actually don't call right now because we are trying to do something important here. We shall meet when I'm done. So, users of popular application software. So, what are some of the users of the software? Some of the users of software having access to application. I told you it is used to perform specific tasks like playing games and whatsoever. And I gave examples like the off-shelf, the custom software, the shareware, the freeware, the open source, the copyrighted software, the special purpose software. Let us look at the advantages of software. Yeah, advantages of what? Software. Now, with the advantages of software, first of all, you must appreciate that it helps in word processing. Some of the advantages helps in word processing by the help of the word processor. Helps in actually creating calculations by the help of a spreadsheet. Database helps in creating different database for different people. Presentation helps in presenting a meeting. You have publishers, and you have very many. The multimedia for playing music, very many other things. The editors for editing different texts. If I continue, allow me now actually look at some of some of the applications of actually software, like under Microsoft Word. This is a bit more practical. It's a bit more practical, but you need to know Microsoft Word that is used to edit, format, and create different text or documents like letters and whatsoever. Yeah. So the spreadsheet actually is the one used to actually to carry out calculations and actually make budgets in one way around. So what are some of let's actually go deep and look at some of the terms used in actually Microsoft Word as a software. So Microsoft Word is the act of creating, saving, editing, and formatting or printing of text or graphic documents using electronic method. So if we proceed, some of the different terms used in Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word, we have what we call font. This is the style or a type of face. Yeah, we have what we call line spacing. We have what we call line spacing. What's the space between lines as we type? We have what we call justification. Also of aligning document either to the right or left. We have formatting, copy, pasting, cutting, hard copy, soft copy, paragraph, very many other words. That is in brief. What are some of the advantages of actually using Microsoft Word processors? They can save soft copies. They can undo mistakes. Actually, they are easy to learn. The disadvantage is you cannot work without electricity. So let us also look at what we call the spreadsheet program. The spreadsheet program, that is usually the one used to actually making budgets and whatsoever. So you realize we have words like same, have words like formulas, functions. Those are things you have to go and look at in details. So with all that, that is actually the basics or the basis of computer. And with all that, having actually looked at everything about how computers are separated, you can actually always work with a computer home. Those are some of the few concepts we actually look at as we look at the medical computer. We don't go deep into other computer. Maybe some other concept is with the computer communication, where we look at information being transferred via data channels. So you must also appreciate that we use emails to actually carry out communication. Those are some of the things we do. We don't actually go deep into a lot of computer. As long as you know these first concepts I've tried to explain, computer will become an easy thing. So, those of you who have been online, those of you who are going to watch this video, make sure that you comment with questions. This PDF is going to be shared in the group for your reference. So, computer is actually very easy. It is a very easy concept, and I want you to add here to actually discuss unit. If you have the 40%, you add on the 60%, you can pass paper 2. That is for the certificate in nurses, the diploma students, also those ones at higher levels of medical learning. So thank you for listening. Stay tuned.